So these conglomerate beds are made up of a series of pebbles ranging from sort of half a centimetre up to some of the larger ones are probably 10-15 centimetres in size. What that tells us is that rather than the sort of low energy which is required to move small grains, is that there was much higher energy in order to transport these much larger clasts, they're called when we're talking about a conglomerate bed like this. And what this is formed from is actually a flash flood which flowed through the middle of the sort of desert region that made up Stoke-on-Trent about 220 to 240 million years ago. So what you've got is dry, arid desert with a few meandering braided streams every so often. Heavy rainfall further south means that all these pebbles are eroded and then they're transported possibly hundreds of miles to where they've been deposited here when the energy of the river level drops. Now from these pebbles they're quite rounded, which gives us an indicator that they've been transported quite a long distance. And there's all sorts of different types of grains in there, showing that they've come from various different sources. Now we've got large grains, small grains, medium grains, and what we interpret from that is the fact that everything was deposited quite quickly. So this is the flash flood flowing through the area, and then suddenly the energy levels drop and everything is deposited quite quickly, giving us this sort of random texture. And in geology what we call that is a poorly sorted texture, which indicates that sort of everything is sort of quite mixed up and has been deposited quite quickly. Now if we move upwards a little bit, we can see that we're looking at a more sandstone type bed. There's a few pebbles in there which have obviously been ripped up and transported as well, but we can see that the energy levels are much lower as we've got much smaller grains. And what we can actually see in here is some diagonal beds that are sort of dipping in that direction. I don't know whether you'll be able to see on this scale, but these are actually the cross bedding that we talked about before, and because they're dipping that way, which is north, it can tell us that the river was flowing north at the time. So all in all, quite a fascinating outcrop and quite a lot to be learned from here.